All of your favorite Philip Donald classics in one exclusive collection. Philip Donald has been loved by millions. And now, we proudly offer the most beautiful recordings ever made by Philip Donald. Classics such as Be My Valentine,
Be My Valentine,
Grandma's Ghosts,
a little problems.
April Fool's
It's
Day,
underwear, under that is caviar.
It's Your Birthday,
Go choking on the cake.
and don't forget about Philip's sentimental ballads, Revenge Time,
Need some duct tape to make the
Shut Your Face, Such a Good Ugly Thing,
I really put this. You're such a good ugly thing.
Such a Good Ugly Thing, Philip Donald's debut album, now available in stores.
Philip Donald, Such a Good Ugly Thing, available on classic vinyl for $6.99, vintage cassette tape for $7.99, and nostalgic 8-track for $9.99.
Oh yeah.
Hello, everybody. This is Chris, and this is the SmorgShow Podcast, episode number 103. And sounds of the Peter Moon Band, our old traditional opening theme song from the old Smorgasbord days. I thought we would shake it up a little bit. Here come the guys.
Hey, what's up?
You gotta wait till the door opens and closes, guys. You should know this by now. Hey, well. Welcome back to the SmorgShow Lounge.
I think doors just separate us, really.
It does. They do.
You know, there needs to be more togetherness.
Yeah.
You know, this music, it reminds me of this beautiful, warm, sunny weather we've been having lately.
Jeez, when do we get out of spring? I mean, when do we get into spring? I mean, I guess it's spring, it's rain, but it just feels like it's a setback.
It's perpetual March.
Yeah, it's some fine September weather we're having right now.
Yeah, you got to get into July in the Midwest. Yeah.
Change that to October.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, so here we are, guys. The wife is out of town.
Oh, when
She's in, she's seeing her mom for Mother's Day. Oh, sorry. That makes this episode seem dated now. We're recording this on Mother's Day weekend, but probably it's coming out sometime in June. I don't know when this is coming out, actually. We're doing the pre-recording. We're recording many sessions together. Since my wife is out of town for a week, the guys are over. Just a natural thing to do.
Right. You know,
Because I can't be alone.
Right, and we're podcasting kind of guys.
That's true too.
Yes.
But it's like that old saying: "When the cat's away, the mice will play."
And this is your idea of play?
No, it's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I know. It's not the same kind of play that would have happened, 25 years ago.
We don't have the energy for that kind of playing anymore.
No.
I don't anyway.
So this is I don't know. We're talking about things in general. I'm looking at an article that I've got here about the passage of time, and I know this is a subject of interest of you, Dave. I don't think you like discussions about time, and I don't know. Is that right? Am I accurate?
I like Doctor Who.
Yeah,
That's time. That's
Including,
about time.
including the current one.
I like them all
You
in
like
a
the new
way.
one?
I like the older ones better, but
Yeah.
Well, the concept that time marches on more quickly as you get older.
yeah, that's true. Or it seems to, anyway.
Now, Allie had an interesting perspective on this for me. She said, when you're 10 and the 5 years that it takes you to get to 15, that 5 years, the perspective you have when you're a 10-year-old and a 15-year-old is that 5 years is like, that's like a 50% of your lifetime up till that point. So it seems like it drags on forever, but 5 years now, when you're 50 to 55, that's only 10% of your life that you've experienced. So that's why it seems so compressed. And I always liked that explanation. And it actually showed up in this article about, that was one of the two theories for that. But the other theory is that the time seems to slow when we are exposed to new environments and experiences. So the relationship between our experience of time and the amount of information, including perceptions, sensations, thoughts that our mind processes. I guess the more information our minds take in, the slower time seems to pass. So I don't know if that, so like new experiences.
Yeah. Or maybe there's one theory too, I recall reading about, where the more landmark events that you have in your life to look forward to, that kind of makes things seem a little bit slower. But when you don't have anything to look forward to, something major to look forward to, then time seems to rush. That was one theory that I recall reading. Another theory is just basically, if you're getting older, you realize you're getting kind of closer to taking the dirt nap.
The dirt nap.
So you just feel like you're running out of time.
Well, that one is actually probably the most pertinent as far as I'm concerned.
Well, this one talks about living in the moment. It means living through our senses and our experience rather than through our minds. It's a different approach to avoiding familiarity, and happens not by seeking new experiences, but by changing our attitude to our experiences. So when you're having a shower in the morning, for example, instead of letting your mind chatter away about the things you have to do for that day or things that you did last night, try to bring your attention to the here and now to really be aware of the sensation of the water splashing against and running down your body and the sense of warmth and cleanliness you feel. This constitutes as news today.
Well, it's interesting what
is this? Is this UPI or?
This is I don't know, MSN News or something.
Okay.
But being in the moment sort of thing, that's very Eastern philosophy. That's like very Buddhist yogic sort of way of if you want to improve the quality, or better yet, how to better deal with life, you don't deal with by projecting your mind into the future or into the past. If you keep in the moment, it's a little bit easier to deal with life because you're not overtaken by things. You don't let your mind or whatever torture you into thinking one way or the other, doing these things. It's just you're there, and I think it might actually help with improving the quality of your life a little bit. I kind of agree with that one.
I think children are the best example of living in the moment because you don't. When you're, I don't know, 7, 8 years old, you don't really think about the past anymore. You don't think about the future other than, hey, my birthday's coming up. You think about what's going on right now, and it seems like time just drags. Your summer vacation goes by so slow when you're a kid.
Right. Seems like it'll never end.
So it says another example here, when you're on your way home from work, on the bus or the train, instead of mulling over all the problems that you had to deal with at work that day, focus your attention outside of yourself. Look at the sky, look at the houses. Jerry, you did a perfect example today when we're driving through downtown Aurora after picking you up at the train station. You're noticing all the architecture, the places that I pass by, almost every day, and I see them as a deli or a pawn shop or whatever. You're saying, look at that architecture. You're looking in the details. You're soaking in the now. And I respect that of you.
No problem. Anytime.
So I don't know, just something since we're getting older, and so time passes and I'm thinking here we are almost halfway through the year. We were just back together here for the barn show in the winter. And it's just, I don't know.
Well, not to get overly philosophical here, but there was a great saying that somebody once said, don't know who, said, you could have the possibility of looking at life in either one of two ways. You can look at everything as a miracle or nothing as a miracle. Or, you know what I mean? So,
Sure.
if you think about how your body works, how the fact that we're on this rock floating around this, this big nuclear furnace in the middle, and what's holding it all up and everything. And you have to think about it for a second. It's like, it makes you step back and realize all those little cares that you had aren't quite as big if you look at the bigger picture, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times too, we tend to think of time as a straight line,
Linear.
like from birth to death. But you could think of time more as a spiral, and the older you get, each spin is happening faster and faster.
That's
yeah.
I like
Does
that.
that make any sense at all?
Well,
Yeah.
So in the beginning of your life, it takes a long time to make one revolution, and then the further you get along in your life, then you're spinning out of control,
right down the
brother.
right down the bathtub drain.
But it's still happening at the same rate, the same speed. It's our perception of it.
But you're making each revolution quicker. One trip around.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you think of it as a cone, like a spiral, and then a cone.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing about it too is when you're young, you are more of a blank slate, and so everything's coming at you. You're processing it. You're trying to learn things. As you get older and you know certain things, and you know how certain ways of the world work, and you know your job, and you know what to do here and there, there's less and less things in life that seem to be a surprise, that seem to be something that really challenges your imagination. Like when you were younger, when you're like 10 years old, there were a lot of things that would challenge your imagination. There were a lot of things that would make you want to know more, stretch your perception. When you get into just the day-to-day things, your job, and, taking care of your bills and raising a family and all these things, they're things, and they're very important. You need to do them. But that aspect of finding something new, and again, I think they were talking about it in those little exercises or whatever, like when you're in the shower and then you like really, be aware of the feelings that you have when your body has when there's, the water's running on you, or like you said, you perceive things around you that every day, like you said, you just pass by and you see certain things, and then if you look a little further, it's like, oh, wait a minute, there's something else going on here. But that's kind of up to you to do that, because when you get older, you just kind of, you're like, we all kind of do this. We put ourselves in this comfortable rut of like, well, this is where I know, and this is what and you stick with it. And there is a lot of other stuff that's happening that unless you're willing to expand your awareness on it.
Yeah. So
that's how you can kind of recapture your youthful desire for more information, for more input of life in life. It's like I said, when you were younger, you're more of an open book, so you're more willing to get information.
Yeah. So it's a difficult exercise. I think you really have to train yourself as you get older to get into that mindset, because it's not easy. I try to.
Right.
Occasionally I'm aware that I'm not in the moment, that I'm constantly thinking about what's happening a week from now.
Especially today with all the distractions everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
You have to really make an effort to either turn things off or just get better at focusing.
Well, I think
knowing what you're looking for and ignore everything else.
I need to turn off my alerts. I have way too many distractions a day.
Well, yeah, I think that's the other thing too. I mean, they say it's really good that we're so super connected now, and in one sense that's kind of true, but in the other sense I don't think it is, because in one regard we're connected, but we're not really connected. In other words, yeah, we get the alerts and this, but when you and I were growing up, and because we were pre-internet and all that, getting together with your friends and coordinating and all that, it took a bit more effort, but the time was more, how can I put it? It seemed more important, I guess. It wasn't just like, I can call somebody right now, boom, 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 and it's taken care of. Now, back then, I think you had to plan a little bit more. You had to be more, engaged in it. Maybe I'm wrong, but it felt that way to me anyway.
Yeah.
So nowadays, it seems a lot more superficial.
Very true.
What do you have to say about it, Dave?
Yeah, just just on that distraction idea, that there's so much out there to distract you that you just have to make a decision that I'm going to make sure I call so-and-so today, or I'm going to make sure I say hello to one person I don't know, I've never met before, something like that, as opposed to, boy, I need to get my internet time in, and I need to read all my emails. And
well, it's very easy to get.
Don't lose the human contact factor.
Yeah, it's easy to get addicted to it. That's the thing. Social media.
There is an addictive quality to it.
Oh, it is. It's a
They've
drug.
even got a name for it, where you're always waiting for that like on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
There's a word for that. Your brain is actually
serotonin.
You're addicted to that chemical. Now I can't remember. There's a name for it.
Yeah, I
just
know.
can't
There
recall
is a
it
term
right
for
now.
that. And there's also a term for the feeling that you feel like there's a vibration from your phone, like you were alerted, like that little,
Yeah,
and nothing happened. You're just like, no alert.
I think that's happened to me once or twice.
I've had that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you just recently got a new phone.
right.
Yeah.
So it's
But
happened.
I'm aware. I mean, I'm constantly aware of. Am I doing this? Am I getting a kick out of getting a like on a? And I've felt that.
Oh, yeah, that. For
I
sure.
felt that. So it's a real thing.
Well,
even though I'm aware
sure.
of it.
It's like, I think they call it a dopamine rush.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Well, Allie was saying with her generation, there's a feeling that if you don't have enough likes from a recent post, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook, that they're actually deleting the post. It's like, oh, this is not any good. I need to take this off because it's embarrassing.
I didn't know that.
There's not that much feedback. And they're actually going back and
You
cleaning
mean
up.
the person is doing that?
A person
or,
is doing it to themselves.
to themselves.
So they post something and they're
Oh.
expecting, 100, 200 likes within the next couple of hours, and they don't get it. It reaches, a dozen or something. They're like, oh, I got to take this down. And they're cleaning up their posts. It's like,
Wow.
yeah.
I don't want anybody to think I'm a loser.
This is breaking Baba news. Ponti Verma used to have a sharp tongue. The 32-year-old TV repairman from Sendwa, India, reportedly insulted his wife Hema so frequently and severely that she recently left him, taking their daughter with her. The man was so distraught that he tried to lick his abusive habit by cutting off the source, his tongue, according to the Hindustan Times. Verma tried to reach out to his estranged wife with a note explaining that since it was his tongue that was responsible for his cruel words, he sliced it off, GeoBeats reported. No word on whether his wife believed the reconciliation attempt was anything more than lip service, but Verma was admitted to a government hospital for treatment, and the medical officer informed local police officials about his personal dismemberment. Verma isn't the only tongue under attack recently. A Jack Russell Terrier named Ali in England faces being put down after his tongue was ripped out by a hawk that was being trained nearby. The bird of prey sank its talons into the dog before ripping out his tongue, leaving the pooch screaming and covered in blood, Huffington Post UK reported. This is Breaking Baba News.
And this is what's beating us in the ratings.
It's a bit morbid.
All righty. Hey, I thought I'd go back in the Wayback Machine here a little bit. I found this old clip of Chris and Dave from, I think, 1982. I thought this would be something that you'll find amusing. Do you remember the Algebra commercial? The commercial, not the helping homework hotline.
The commercial. Boy, now you're intriguing
Algebra,
me.
not for just for breakfast anymore?
I kind of remember
Yeah.
it in concept.
I don't know what we were thinking of this. Let's play this and relive those old days. Let's see.
How you doing? Saturday night. Smelling up your room.
Okay, door slab. I think I have time for a quick algebra problem before we talk again. This is the only time I have to do my homework. Oh, it's my line again.
Yeah.
Let me try that again. I didn't know I had that second line.
Not again.
Okay. Well, usually when you finish, forget it.
Yeah, just continue on.
Forget the door slam. I'll just go right into it.
Why don't you just do that?
I think I have time for a quick algebra problem before we talk again. This is the only time I have to do my homework. Let's see. Let's see. 2 cosine x equals... forget it. I'm supposed to throw down my pencil.
Hey, Chris, calm down. What's the matter?
Oh, hi, Dave. It's this algebra. Doctor says it makes me nervous.
Here, try some of this new devariabilized algebra. Look, no variables.
But I only like real algebra.
But it is real algebra. 100% real algebra. Here, try it.
Hey, wow, man, this is great. I love it. No variables. Thanks, Dave. I wonder what the volume of this P is.
Algebra. Not just for homework anymore. All right, that was good. That was
Okay, let's try it one more time because a couple little, it was too...
How was the laugh? Did that sound Robert Youngish?
It's your laugh. What do you expect?
My laugh is like...
Okay, one more time here. Door slam.
Before we go into some more of that groovy rock.
I think I have time for a quick algebra problem before we talk again. This is the only time I have to do my homework, so I brought it to the studio here. Let's see. 2 cosine x equals... forget it.
Hey, Chris, calm down. What's the matter?
Oh, hi, Dave. It's this algebra. Doctor says it makes me nervous.
Here, try some of this new devariabilized algebra. Look, no variables.
But I only like real algebra.
But it is real algebra, Chris. 100% real algebra. Here, try it.
Wow, this is great. I love it. No variables. Thanks, Dave. I wonder what the volume of this P is.
Algebra. Not just for homework anymore.
Yeah, it was good, but I think we're missing something.
Yeah, something's missing.
Okay.
Like music.
We're going to call you Disco Dave.
Disco Dave.
You ready for this? One last time here. I think I have time for a quick algebra problem before we talk again. This is the only time I have to do my homework, being I just brought it to the station. Let's see. 2 cosine x equals... forget it.
Hey, Chris, calm down. What's the matter? I like it.
Hi, Dave. It's this algebra. Doctor says it makes me nervous.
Here, try some of this new devariabilized algebra. Look, no variables.
But I only like real algebra.
But it is real algebra. 100% real algebra. Here, try it.
Hey, this is great. I love it. No variables. Thanks, Dave. I wonder what the volume of this P is.
Hey, algebra. Not just for homework anymore. Available at fine stores near you.
That's good.
And we wonder why we kept Mr. Moore up nights.
Who came up with that one? It had to be. That was yours.
I think it was.
That was yours. Yeah.
That was my SCTV period there.
Yeah.
So I was like patterning that after. Why I felt like doing algebra instead of coffee, I don't know, but. No, it took me a good 30 years to forget that we did that. Now I'm going to have to start all over again.
Therapy all over again.
Oh, God. Well, I don't know. That was a pretty good Robert Young impression there. You know, it's based on those old Senka commercials.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. But I only like real.
All right. New closing theme for tonight. I don't know. Thanks, guys. Good show.
I hope we made somebody's ride to work or back home more enjoyable.
Just a little bit better, yes. This is the SmorgShow Podcast. We have a website. It's SmorgShow.com. And our phone number is 312-95-SMORG. Yes, we still are paying for that phone number, so please use it. And email address. Does anybody use email anymore?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still do.
Yeah, you send me links to YouTube videos.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Feedback at SmorgShowPodcast.com. Give us your feedback. And we'll be back again very soon. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Goodbye.